This is a primate, newly emerged from what has gone before. And we who seek our own beginnings can find in him, in this quiet, unmajestic experimenter, the first dim outlines of a way, a path, a road that one day we would walk.
Animal Secrets. Primates. With Dr. Lauren Isley, University of Pennsylvania.
To this day, the lower primates act out a daily drama of seeking food and shelter that must be, in a stark and sometimes not very flattering way, very close to our own daily lives, at least as these were once lived. Some of these creatures, in one way or another, can give us hints of the long road our species has traveled. The hints may be anatomical, or they may involve the dim beginnings of sociality and speech. An order, in this case the primates, is the word zoologists use for a large group of differing but anatomically related animals. Man is assigned to this particular order because of traits he shares with apes, monkeys, and certain other smaller and more ancient creatures. At the bottom of the ladder are little animals such as tree shrews and lemurs. They are more primitive than apes and monkeys. In a way, they are living fossils, telling us of the past. It was a mammal, but do you think it was like other mammals? For one thing, the eyes over countless generations had slowly been moving toward the front of his face. This gave this primitive primate vision that overlapped. It was beginning to see clearly in 3 dimensions. This was the beginning of greater reliance on sight above smell. What else was this animal trying out? The digging, scratching claw of other mammals was changing. The claws receded, and a semblance of a nail was growing. Our prosimian could grasp a small limb. He could even pick something up, perhaps his food. Have you ever tried to pick something up with your toes? These are lemurs. The word has a Latin origin. Originally, it meant ghost. They seem to flit about the trees, quickly and furtively, and you are not sure always whether you have seen something or not. Can you tell what is happening? The slow process of change is becoming evident. Eyes closer to the front now, better hands. What other differences can you see? Are the limbs better adapted for grasping? There is also a new freedom and mobility of the big toe, and except for a claw on the second toe, there are flat nails on the digits. He has also become a diurnal animal, which means that he feeds during the day, and instead of insects, he feeds on leaves and fruits and buds. He lives in small, compact social groups. He looks a little like a monkey. He almost is. With the monkey, a new kind of primate came into being. He had all the advantages of the prosimians, and his face is becoming more mobile and Basically, what has happened with the monkeys is that along with grasping fingers and stereoscopic and color vision, they developed a better brain. It is larger, more complex, and capable of wider ranges of activity. There are two families of monkeys: the New World and Old World groups. The Old World monkeys have a narrow nose that points downward, while the New World monkeys have nostrils that flare to the side. In addition, some of them have a prehensile tail which they can use in grasping limbs, almost like having a fifth hand. Stereoscopic vision has given them extreme dexterity. The old nose brain of the ground dweller has given way to a new model, the eye brain. How do you think the world looks to a monkey? Would it look the same to him as it does to us? While most monkeys run on all fours, some apes, like the gibbon and orang, move over the forest ceiling by swinging overhand. This, incidentally, puts their bodies in a vertical position, and when they move on the ground, they are more inclined toward a semi-erect position. Why do you suppose this was so great an advance? The ape has many of the basic components of human development, but he is not human. In his body, in the way the pelvis attaches to the backbone, he seems very like us. Yet there is a vital missing element: speech. Man's brain is larger and more complex. It has additional areas for memory and speech. Why then should we want to know more about primates? Man did not emerge from any living primate group. The existing members of the primates are the result of many diverging lines of evolution. This much we know. In order for us to have acquired our present characteristics, we had to solve certain biological problems and certain social problems. How we solved them is partly a reflection of both a body and a brain which has a long pre-human history. In other words, a primate history, not just our own immediate human history. In our bodies and brains are hidden the relics of the evolutionary past. We have been talking largely of noses and eyes and of hands that can grasp. But as you know, our lives are not entirely understandable in terms of anatomy. Above all, we have become social beings. Social living, like finding food or trying to walk upright, has to be learned. There are enormous benefits to be had in community living, but it brings problems as well. The baboons, those clever, unabashed monkeys, have had a certain success in this field. The baboons are almost completely ground-dwelling, taking to the trees only at night or to escape danger. And it is life on the ground that makes cooperation so imperative. This is a troop of baboons living in the animal preserve of Kenya, Africa. These scenes were shot in the course of an intensive study of baboons made by Dr. Urban DeVore, an anthropologist at Harvard. New studies like these have given us insights into the lives of our fellow primates. All animals are concerned for their young, primates especially so. An infant baboon has much to learn. Instinct, inherited patterns of conduct will not suffice. He must learn to distinguish the right foods, the signals of danger, and the social requirements of the group. The infant, as he grows, wanders further and further from his mother, but keeps her in sight and is never completely alone. Females show great interest in a newborn infant and like to hold and fondle it. As the young one grows, demands are made on him. He is expected at the proper age to ride on his mother's back instead of clinging to her belly. At first, this isn't easy. He sees and makes contact with adult males who tolerate his approaches and discipline him only when he becomes a nuisance. They will even allow him to ride on their backs to reassure him when he has been frightened. He plays with others of his own age and begins the process of establishing relationships with individuals whom he will recognize and live with the rest of his life. One of the most beguiling aspects of baboon behavior is the act of grooming. Basically, it is simply a cleaning process. Parasites are, in a slow and almost meticulous operation, picked from the fur and the skin. It is meaningful and important. It is a dual effort, intimate and satisfying, almost like a ritual. Baboons are nervous animals. They have a tendency towards swift and violent action. We think they are also frequently bored. These are all conditions that encourage fighting. And constant fighting would mean that at any given time, certain male members of the troop would be injured or dispatched completely. In short, the ability to muster adult males in time of danger would be lessened. Grooming is the answer, at least one answer. It is a constant reminder that group life has its advantages, that there are pleasures in living peacefully together. In this scratching and probing, we see a social invention which is as meaningful to them as a conversation is to us, or a concert in the park. The baboons have a system of mutual assistance with the impala. This gazelle is a target of the same predators that attack baboons. It is highly alert and has a splendid sense of smell. It can detect the presence of an upwind lion long before the baboon. The baboon has better eyesight and can spot the enemy when he is downwind and lurking behind the cover of tall grass. Both the impala and the baboon have learned the other's signal for danger. Baboons have had a truly outstanding success with another problem. Put crudely, it would be, who is boss? The baboons know. They not only know who is in charge, but who is second and third. In fact, each member of a baboon troop occupies a niche, a place in the social order. This hierarchy provides order and discipline. It assures quick decisions by leadership essential to survival. It gives security, both for the troop and the individual. At the top are the dominant males. Next are the young adult males, some of whom will one day challenge the leaders for command. Childbearing females are next, with infants and the old at the bottom of the order. When the troop moves in search of food and water, the young males are on the edges. The others move within this perimeter. In case of attack, the predator first encounters the young males. Then the dominant males move quickly to the forefront to face the attacker. Confrontation by several of these powerful animals makes even the largest predators hesitate. The study of primates is flattering to us, For of all primates, man is the most advanced in intellectual power. We have the same basic physical structure, but it has been modified over the long course of evolution for particularly human purposes, just as the apes and monkeys have pursued and become adapted to other ways of life. Most animals walk on 4 limbs. Man has learned to walk erect on 2, but he has paid an admission price for this privilege. He still does. All the backaches, flat arches, and those stabs of pain from a vestigial appendix are reminders that we are still experimenting with an upright posture, and even the latest models are still in need of improvement. These defects are the scars that evolutionary change leaves in our bodies. Men are like old manuscripts, written and scrawled over continuously by the inexorable hand of the ages. Each one of us is both a palimpsest of the past and the oncoming future. Now, do you know what a primate is? What can we learn from the others? Can they tell us something about ourselves? Does their brain permit them to profit from experience? Are they capable of mastering their environment and managing it to solve their problems of finding food and shelter? All of them, scratching and fighting and dozing in the sun, provide us with a kind of picture of the primeval youth of our own family, the human family, which is part of a great collection of near and distant relatives still living about us.
Animal Secret programs are available for purchase on 16mm film by schools and libraries through federally funded grants. For information, write to Animal Secrets, The Graphic Curriculum, 41 East 42nd Street, New York, New York, 10017.